Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. We have a wonderful race here for you tonight. This is Game 2 of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. Crab Cakes, the reigning Spring Tournament champion, looking to claim her second Spring Tournament title. Standing in her way, the venerable Spellzapp, the Iron Goal Heavyweight Metal champion, the co-op champion, along with Danny 383, looking to upset CC and take his first Spring Tournament win. Joining me in the booth, as always, Lord Fizzlebeef. How are you doing, buddy?
Hi. I'm excited. I know crab cakes. I love crab cakes. I know Spellzapp. I love Spellzapp. I can't believe they both made it to the finals. This is gonna be amazing. And I'm looking at this drafted party, and it's not what it was last night, but I think it will be very, very interesting.
Yeah, and it's a wonder to see these run, and we're already off. So into Canaria, we're gonna get our first look at the white magic for those knights, and we have a white mage locked Fade. We have Bane, Cake, Fire 1 for our black mages to swing. We also have a Harm 4 locked behind promotion for that knight, so not too terrible, but a lot of instant kills, not a lot of reliable kills. We got expensive steel in the armor shop, and weapons, we got an expensive falchion and short sword, and kind of cheap cabins. We'll make some use out of those. So our runners here, dealing with town shuffle, gonna have to deal with instant kills along the way. This is the tale of two different drafts. Game 1 of the draft saw both our runners take Thief, White Mage, None. Now we're going to see how the other side lives with a double fighter, double black mage, all the offense, none of the the utility, so to speak.
I mean, I know I've been a proponent of white magic as a crutch, but I still endorse taking a red mage at the very least. This is a level of aggression that I love and will be fascinated to watch.
Yeah, and an ice shield off the bat is going to be pretty good early absorb for one of the fighters, a tint and a little bit of money. So with these flags, Spring Tournament 2020, the story is finding the loose canal more often than not, and we have shuffled towns which could lead us astray very early if that loose canal is buried in a sea shrine, which is in Onrak or the Provoke location. So we got a crystal and adamant. Two nice fetch quests to see early on, both within the zero sphere of Canary Castle.
Yeah, I like the so I love finding crystal out of King or Princess, because that means that it takes all the guesswork out of early routing, because then you just go to Matoya and then you just go to Provoka.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna CC already on her horse, gonna show us what's Matoya's holding on to. We got a magic spell with a broom, that short sword, silver axe. We got a couple things for those fighters to wield in. Required loot. So that's pretty neat. So
yeah,
it's first piece of the 7-piece puzzle to end the game.
The only asterisk I'd put next to that is that finding the loot is never bad, but if you find it in the first 20 minutes, it's super inconvenient, because that could have been anything else that would have propelled you further forward in the early game.
I'm always happy to see an early loot. I'm never happy to see early damage poison from the Grimps, though, that wiped out Cece, so she's going to reset and walk over to Dwarves.
That's going to make Earth Cave awkward.
A little bit. Now, I'm a fan of the early loot. Mostly early Iron Armor and Pro Rings are really good from the free boxes here in Dwarf Cave. That's definitely worthy of a hooray. And we've got Herb, and there's Onrak. So one of these turn into Oxyale, and there's a bottle for sale for 11,747 gold.
Hooray!
Now, Herb's another nice turn-in, because that's another 5% XP, and with the town shuffle, Elfland Castle remains vanilla, so that Herb can still get turned in.
Right.
Now, what that herb turns to, we're gonna find out. So
I'm more interested in what Elfland is, because with 2 black mages, we're kind of very interested in finding Provoca and Elfland and sorting out what resources we're gonna have available to us for most of our dungeon dives.
So if this herb doesn't turn into Oxyale, we're looking at a required marsh with just Bane and Quake, which isn't bad. We have it if we make one black mage dedicated cake casting for the undead and Bane on the other for the non-undeads. It's still going to make the scums or mucks, if they show up, a little awkward. I believe they resist both of those elements.
I don't recall if they resist Quake, but they do resist poison.
Alright, well, Spellzapp, with the early lead, haven't seen the Grimps with damage poison. I say early lead, meaning he's basically just made it to Elfland before CC by about 15 seconds.
Roughly. Alright, what's our Elf Prince prize? We turn in the herb, and we get a Thor Hammer, which...
Hey.
Nothing to sneeze at right now, honestly.
No.
It's a damaging AoE that we did not have previously.
That Thor Hammer will make Elfland, or I'm sorry, I got distracted by that level 5 nuke in Melmond. The Marsh Cave dive that is now required. A little more palatable.
Yep.
So, Spring Tournament Finals, what would it be if not a required Marsh dive?
Yep.
Almost makes me think Earth Cave is definitely required as well.
I feel like this is just a continuation of the last match that we called together, where I said that Marsh was not required. Oh.
Spellzapp coming into the Marsh Cave without camping equipment. That's a little awkward. Shadows with Gaze gonna, because we're not. If we find something top shelf, we gotta walk out of here and walk all the way back if we don't find a tent or a cabin up here. So this could get super awkward pretty quick for Spellzapp.
With the armor available, and I believe those fighters are pretty decently armored, at least compared to early game at this point. Between that, the Thor Hammer, and Quake and Bane, I think if you find something top floor, you gotta make a run at the bottom.
Houses are expensive. There's Opal armor, so that's end-game armor for one of those fighters.
Sure.
Now, it's also something to sell to get that bottle should Gaia end up in the Melmond location or in Crescent Lake or somewhere within arm's reach.
Oh, I agree. We should not be leaving the Inner Sea without that bottle.
And there's the canal.
That's convenient.
And that's a linked chest on the second floor all the way to the far left. And as you descend down to the basement. Nothing nasty or unrunnable here in Marsh yet.
And as you said that, we are introduced to bones with stone poison.
That's pretty neat. So Spellzapp, with the information, gonna sail back to Canaria, buy some cheap cabins, and make a better play of this marsh dive.
Meanwhile, Crabcake seems to have done quite a bit of shopping and is going to be heading to that same marsh cave. A little bit more prepared, I think.
Yeah, and she took a little awkward routing by going around by foot to Matoya and Dwarves, and then sailing to Elfland, and then sailing to Provoca. So not typical routing for these Spring Tournament flags, but it's effective.
Was that Death Touch out of Ogres, or was that just a lot of damage?
I think that was just punching to get Double Z, Big Z to sleep there.
Oh, that makes sense now.
I believe the top fighter was poisoned, and then they stayed at the inn. She walked to Marsh, and that's why the fighter was on an inn. Look at this route synchronization. Spellzapp knows where he's got to go. He's going to leave the opal armor behind.
Mm-hmm.
And are we even in? I think we're even encounter synced right now with the gargoyles.
Right. I'm interested to see if Spellzapp opens another box in here. Looks like the answer is no, and that's an answer I can stand behind because we know Bones with Stone Poison. What else in here is lethal?
Well, we know that those Grimps show up in the... I think they can show up in one formation.
Not to
I don't
my
know if it's on
knowledge,
this floor.
but not to my knowledge, but it might be on the wizard trap tile.
Alright, Spellzapp almost out, and didn't miss anything in that bottom room on the top of Marsh. Now, will Spellzapp gamble? Nope, he's leaving it all behind. So hopefully this is not a double dip of Marsh for Spellzapp. If there's something else, we are looking for 3 loose items. And with the Thor hammer already falling in our lap, the likelihood that 2, if not all 3 of those loose items are going to be required is pretty high.
Right. My big question at this point is, will Crab Cakes be making a dive down to bottom of Marsh? Based on her routing so far, because like, ooh.
Cece turned to stone, and she'll make her second dive into Marsh Cave, so
I think
runners equal on Marsh dives.
I think that'll even more incentivize Cece not taking Marsh Bottom, because she now knows that Stone Poison is a thing that exists, doesn't want to deal with it unless we absolutely have to. Best to just get the canal and get out.
Also worth noting, there's Elfland, so that's a nice find. This is going to get us some magic. Ugh, Quad-X is probably the best thing there.
Shadows with Glare was what I was focusing on over on Crab Cakes' side of the screen. That'll make walking to Earth Cave bad.
We have Night Learnable Exit, and I believe that was Heal 3 also. Oh, no, this must have been Heal 2, because there's Heal 3 in level 4, which we're not going to be able to buy at all.
Right.
Fire 3 and Warp.
Fire 3 and Warp, pretty good.
Yeah, so level 3 kind of busted out. Cheap tents.
Very cheap tents. So
we got some decent night magic.
Yeah.
Well, it's the real story will come with the Provoke-a-Find.
Right.
What we get at level 2.
Right.
And there's our iron armor for sale, so not bad. Spellzapp still running with 4 light warriors up and kicking. Cece swapped down to the 3-man stretch. She typically rolls with the lower mid party comp, or however you want to describe it. Yeah. Short parties. And Spellzapp, my honey, my boo, going to Earth Cave without the rod. Big heart play here. This is
hashtag never Earth.
This is big rod energy. Let's go. Checking some spike tiles. We got the Grimps and Imps, so that's spooky scary. Sahags, that's less than ideal.
I mean, we can Quake this. We can Quake this for some easy levels if that Saber Tea didn't roll up on power. Or maybe not.
Nah, Saber Teas are basically critical hit cats. I never like seeing them early on. Saber Teas and their cousins, the yellow cats. No, thank you. Ice Sword, hey, there we go.
Ice Sword's not bad.
Something. Yeah, it's completing the ensemble look to match our shield.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetics of that. Alright, Cece gonna break out the inner seal. Let's see where Cece decides to go.
I mean, we gotta do the Melman check. Like, we can't not do a Melman check.
Yeah, I think anytime you're playing with Town Shuffle, checking the towns is always of the utmost importance. Mm-hmm. That was a lesson I learned in Spring Tournament 2019, and I think it's one that our runners are going to be exercising here with great diligence.
Mm-hmm. I think in general, the question of how badly do I want to check all the towns in Town Shuffle is usually directly related to how badly you need to find levels of magic. Because if you're running like a 3-mage party, just like drop everything and go find all the towns right now to try to get mages online. But if you're at 2 fighter, 2 black mage, I think we could probably do without an on-rank check for a while in favor of checking some dungeons.
Mm-hmm. So, CC, my honey, my boo. And I think this just speaks to how well these runners know each other. Both of these runners are the co-leads on the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord's challenge weekly. That is a hat that hasn't been worn by very many people. It was Ikbin Maya that started it when the Discord first got up and running a few years ago. Falconic took over it with great success, passed the torch to me for a little while, and then CC Spellzapp took over it, I want to say last fall. And so these two are constantly talking strategy, constantly talking to each other about this game, the flags, how they interact with each other. So you can, seeing them make the same routing choices is not surprising, because they are probably visiting both of each other's summer homes that they have built in each other's heads. And yeah, when it comes, and I'm thinking of Groggy Dog, our Duckling Supreme, who raced this afternoon on Speed Gaming's No Kid Hungry marathon, and he said when you're racing a better runner, as he claimed to be racing against Burt Reynolds, who's another great up-and-coming runner in the community for that marathon, he said you got to make a play that is going to even out your ability versus theirs. And when you're at the caliber of CC and Spellzapp, what is that play? How do you out maneuver them? Because obviously technical skill, menuing, routing, like they have it. So what do you do differently? How do you beat them? If you know what I mean?
If I were dropped into this scenario where I have to race one or both of them, the first thing that goes through my mind is what can I do that they will not do? Looking at
oh me, oh my, we did not buy that bottle. So Spellzapp's gonna say,
no, we need that.
BRB. Let me. I got the thing for you. Let me go back to Elfland, which it was in.
No, it was in Provoca. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Spellzapp,
where
no.
are we going, Spellzapp?
We're going
to
down. To Unrack.
Oh, okay.
All right. Sure.
The plot thickens.
As I was saying, I would do something that they would not do. And the first thing I thought of was checking Marsh Bottom, despite it being hyper lethal. And the second thing I thought of was just drop everything and sprint to Onrak, which would have been Provoca.
Yeah. And Spellzapp making the route divergence play. And we got Lightning 3, and that is probably the cheapest I've ever seen Ice 3 roll. That is lucrative. Has the ability to roll the highest damage in the game if it lands on something that is vulnerable to ice, such as a Cerberus or a Gas Dragon. It can roll up over 400 damage, but we're going to get a pirate check here.
There's a question in chat I kind of want to expand on in a minute. Spider MBI asks, why Lightning 3 over Ice 3 if Ice 3 is stronger and cheaper? That's actually a very interesting question and has to do with the resistances of the vast majority of enemies you find in the game, Hello Cube. Basically, when you're considering Final Fantasy 1 magic, if you want the spell that has the greatest weaknesses and the greatest resistances, you want fire. It's kind of like, when it works great, but then a lot of the rest of the time it doesn't. If you want highest base power, you go for ice. And if you want least resistances, so most consistent damage, you go for lightning. So Spellzapp is valuing consistent damage versus base power, and is filling out the spellbook anyway after the gold from the pirate kill. Yeah,
Lightning 3, the most versatile of the sweepers, and to back that spell level. It's almost a blessing and a curse, a blurse, if you will. Having Ice 3 and Brack also at that level, because we're going to need Lightning 3 to get through Sea Shrine. And then the more Lightning 3s we use, the fewer Brack hits we're going to have.
Right.
And the same can be said for Mirage Sky.
Right.
Because we don't have a decent sweeper early until Nuke at level 5.
I mean,
so
we do have Fire 3 at level 4.
Yeah, that's not gonna... Ooh, Sahags with Glare. Spoopy scary. So Cece is hitting all of the notes on her scavenger hunt to find all the weird crap that Spellzapp's not finding. And Spellzap with the Lightning 3 grind out of outside of the on-rack provoke, a pretty good deal here. But yeah, so decent spells, hogging spell levels, and with the bottomed out level 3 of just Quad X, we're gonna have to probably rely on good old-fashioned melee damage for... But you know what? We saw Temper at level 7. We saw Fast promotion locked in Melmond. So... Ooh, this is going to be an interesting to see how our runners get through these Fiend dungeons with the gear and the... Well, not the gear, but the magic that they have access to.
Right. Honestly, I'm looking at this, I see Thorhammer in hand for just a base level AoE. I'm seeing level 2... Lightning 3, Ice 3, level 4, Fire 3, level 5, Nuke, and level 2, Brack. That's a very solvable puzzle, I think, for both of these runners, to be able to balance those resources in Fiend Dungeons without that much trouble.
If we were able to go mode them, I would agree with you. But if we're having to clear through, it's there's less of a warm fuzzy, especially now that we know...
Sure.
Unless of course that bottle turned in Gaia, which is in Crescent Lake, is our progression. If that's Canoe, that could be huge.
I think the big thing that we're going to see is utilization of Quake and Bane in the fights that we're able to conserve the level 2, level 4, and level 5 charges. I think we're going to see a lot of Quake and Bane on some of the trash encounters, and it's going to be great. Yeah.
And so Spellzapp filling out his spell books, gonna pick up the Quad X here in Elfland. Yeah, and if there are runners in this community that know how to use those, let's just call them less frequently used AoE sweepers, it's these two. Like I said, their experience with challenge seeds and running all of the different kind of random flag sets these two like to run to keep themselves sharp. This could be sort of a clinic, if you will, on how to effectively utilize it's not that it's a bad spell book, it's just that the way spells rolled, we're gonna have to get creative.
So, I don't believe we saw Bottle actually get turned in, and in the meantime, Spellzapp has decided to further dive Earth Cave. We're on dive number 2 of Earth Cave.
I like it.
While Crab Cakes is going for a pop grind for what I can only assume is Bottle Cash.
Yeah, and she's hitting the fights she wants to hit, so these giants will get it done. They have really good gold distribution early on. This fight should net her between, like, I think 2,000 and 4,000 gold.
Something like that, yeah. And shoutouts to our tracker, Danny383, reminding us that neither runner has been able to buy the bottle yet due to lack of money. So this is 2 different solutions to the how does get money problem. Spellzapp opting for a dungeon dive and hoping for a loose, whereas Crabcake's going for the more reliable, faster pop grind.
One could call it a magnitude strat. Pop. The damage poison Grimps being on the earth tile is, and stun touch Ibs. Well, they're only blocking one more chest in this dungeon, so
Mhm.
until they show up with their giants and wolf friends on their 4th floor, but we don't have
Yeah.
to worry about them yet.
Mhm.
This should be enough bottle money here with these 4 giants for CC.
Should be. We just have to survive the fight, which we have one ice 3 caster, and then see if we can get any with Bane, which is okay. 2, 3 for 4. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And here comes the quad X's in a swing. Yeah, good night, giant. That 52k or 5200 basically. That looks like she's about 13. It was either 13 or 15,000.
Yeah.
All right, trolls and bulls, unrunnable.
Shoutouts to Crab Cakes for that excellent boat parking spot.
And just enough money to even stock up a couple heal pots afterwards. All right, let's go. 3rd floor of Earth. There's a pack of wolves with poison touch. Just not scary. Just kind of just exhale sharply through your nose and persevere. A little bit of money. Spellzapp, I would imagine, would check the Earth TFC here. Oh, yep, yeah. No chest left behind.
No, even without accounting for the, gotta find the loose, Spellzapp needs to exit with a sufficient amount of money.
And Grimps with the dazzle into the damage poison. So this just became an information dive for Spellzapp now.
Oh boy.
And the information was, how about a reset?
So now we have to remember which, if any, of those boxes we're willing to go get again, so that
None
we can.
of them. There was nothing worth picking back up.
Not even the vendor.
No. I don't think there was anything worth vendoring. I think we just got a little bit of money, maybe a couple potions. Mr. Bus Driver in chat, call that an opal shield. Yeah, okay. I don't think that's going out of our way to risk another wipe. But here we go. Bottle turn in for CC. Hey.
Uh-oh.
That's 2 of the vendor or equipment items in the pool. Opal bracelet's a pretty good one to find. That's the best armor those mages can equip absorb wise. But unfortunately, the fairy's just eating her breakfast.
Carefully rolls up his #NeverEarth flag and just throws it in the closet. Because it's gotta be Earth at this point.
Bottom marsh. There's a vendor sword in the Earth TFC.
I don't want to see bottom marsh. I don't want to. If there's one thing I hate more than LOL Earth, it's LOL bottom marsh.
Now let's put on our just mean person hats. This could be something that where we find a loose item here in the bottom of Earth, which leads us to a key, which points us back to the bottom. Oh, we're getting a dang bat for Spellzapp. The points us back to Marshlocked.
Right.
There's our progression.
Right.
Super unlikely, but you never know.
Right.
Hey, everybody's friends. It's the dazzling Grimps.
Grimps, please.
At least it's dazzle and not trance.
Right.
And CC resetting doesn't want to take the Earth Spike tile with the Grimps and Imps.
Honestly, I don't blame her. It's for Crabcakes especially. It's all or nothing, looking for that loose canoe.
Yeah. So gonna get a vampire kill also while we're down here. So there's our progression.
It's free experience.
Yeah. It's one less thing.
Yeah.
and big value there. And we're going to
Mhm.
utilize that level 4 warp to get us the heck out of here.
Mhm.
Mister, get me out of here.
So Spellzapp is first out with the canoe, under 30 minutes. Still has to consider that, like that bottle has to be eating away at my mind at this point. Like, what
Yeah.
was that?
At least it wasn't the canoe.
Right.
He can chalk that off, because if it were the canoe, and say I think if it were like floater or something like that, something that would have immediate, well, not immediate value, but like high value. Yeah. But
Right. So if we want to calculate the math on that at this point, it basically comes down to we could go out of our way, and I think still possibly with a grind to go get that bottle for 1 turn in, or we could take our shiny new canoe and we could do waterfall and or deals. That's 2.
yeah.
That's 2 incentives and a bunch of other boxes. The math says Northern Continent.
Yeah. I think of it not so much as a math play, but a press your advantage. So if you're Spellzapp, you got to think, maybe I got my canoe first, and if I did, I need to take advantage of this as much as possible. I can't, because CC probably did the bottle, and it didn't pay out for progression for her unless it was key or Oxyale. But I know that the only way she's going to get her canoe is to come through the circus clown show that's down here with these Grimps.
Right.
And he's got to feel a little bit okay about making it through there, but we'll see. But yeah, I think whenever in a head-to-head matchup, if you make a quote-unquote gamble, and it pays out with anything, you have to press that.
Yes.
So even if it's like you find the key, like, well, I got to go do all the key locks now, except maybe bottom marsh.
Sure.
Just in case.
Yep.
I love it. Cece's also going to just send the vampire home while she's down here.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It's a free pile of experience. You get 1 more chest for craps and giggles, and then you get to warp out because we have so many level 4 charges.
Yeah, just ride that elevator on out of here. And CC out of here just a minute and like a half behind Spellzapp. So CC with a little bit more, I'd actually call him probably about even, with CC having to do the pop to get the bottle and Spellzapp already in the waterfall. We got a out of bounds bat, so it's pretty neat. Got some EXPs hanging out on the spike tile here in the waterfall. That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
and unrunnable nightmares. This is worth the ice 3s for sure.
Yep.
One thing I've noticed watching CC play is she is very thoughtful, and what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for, but everything is like, it's not intentional, but everything she does, there's a forced double dip of Earth as a robot gives the rod. She's picking up her resources and managing them, and never sort of being caught in a tricky situation like we saw Spellzapp outside of Marsh Cave with no camping gear.
Right.
And I think that's something, I don't think you would ever see something.
No, it's
CC
a plan.
do something like that.
No, it's a planned thing. It's a plan with regards to what am I doing now, and regardless of what happens now, what will I be doing next? Trying to account for all scenarios as you go.
I glanced at chat. Everybody showing up with the words. It was deliberate. Thank you, MG Weirdo and Simple Sarah. Deliberate. That was the word I was looking for.
Oh. Have you ever wanted to play Hangman with Twitch chat?
Yeah, you just use the word jug. You'll win every time. There's your OP Hangman stress. The word jug or cup. Any 3-letter word with a U in the middle of it. Jim is another good one.
Ooh, yeah.
So CC Spellzapp making super quick work of this ordeals puzzle.
Not so much a puzzle, just kind of like an open door.
Yeah. And what do we got?
Whole lot of nothing.
A little bit of money. There's our there's our payback for the the bottle, and it will be Spellzapp's bottle money as CC gets the crown.
So we've got crown in hand. We've got money for bottle. If we're Spellzapp. So the options at this point, if we're following the incentive train, we've got bottle turn in, or we've got do ice. And if we're doing ice, unless we just like find floater, we're probably going to be doing volcano at the same time.
I think you sail up, turn in the crown, and route in Provoke. It's awkward, but to go back into the inner sea. But
right.
I think you got to do it because you'll be turning that, and then that's really awkward routing. Unless you went from Ordeal, sailed to Provoke, parked on that northern Matoy, like that same dock that CC used, grabbed that, and then sail around to the Matoya River inlet, and then you could walk.
That's a long walk, though.
Yeah, I guess you could go from Onrak to dock at the Crown and then just pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, though, the two ways. There's two ways, and both feel bad in different ways. Either, like you said, from Ordeals, hit the back, provoke a dock, and then sail up to Crescent, and then kind of dirtle on over to the Crown turn-in. Or you just beeline the Crown turn-in, and then you have to kind of dirtle in the inner sea, and then, head for Crescent.
Ooh, well, we got a ruby, so I think, we continue pressing this fetch, because now this is 2. Yes. And then as we're walking back, we can sail to... I still like sailing to Provoke and getting that bottle while we're at it. That way we can hit the Melmond area and do the ruby. Oh, this is... No. Nothing feels comfortable.
No, we got to do the ruby, right? Because we're back to math strats. Because ruby is 2 things. Yeah, ruby is 2 things versus the bottle's 1 thing.
And if we were feeling froggy, we could take care of Earth right now too with the rod in hand.
Sure.
And never come back here.
Yeah.
To go away and never come back.
Nom. I like the cheeky save outside the western Titans exit.
Backup Ice Sword, and there's some explosives. So there's a little more incentive to go a little bit closer, maybe pick that bottle up now while we're going to go do the Adamant.
Oh, that's actually faster because we have Orb. That's actually pretty amazing. I learned something today.
Yeah, it's something that I know to do, but I never do it.
Right.
I'm just like, it's not going to save that much time, but it does. And there's our chime. So we are missing 2 pieces of the puzzle. We are missing a key, and we are missing Oxyale.
You know what we're not missing that we're fully prepared for? Sky.
You say fully prepared.
Sure.
No. Iron armor and ice swords do not make a successful skydive when all of our spell charges are going to get chewed up on the climb.
No, we got 2.5 spellcasters. We can do it. It's fine. Just go for it.
Let's go take out the bridge boss and see what this TNT gets us.
I guess.
Because if this is Oxyale or Key, that's huge. Oh, and Spellzapp gives the Hooray Dwarf the crossover. Says, not today, hooray. Beautiful. So now...
Okay.
If Ice... Now I think I windmill slam the Ice Cave.
Essentially, yes, because of all the time spent checking these key lock chests, which we have to do. Yeah.
So we can route in the Provoca town, not Provoca itself. We're the Provoca location to get the bottle, get the Ice Cave. That's our last incentive location. If that's Oxyale, let's go.
Yep.
It feels bad to do this without Fast and Temper if we're going to go promotionless, but trying to dig up a loose tail and a loose floater. There's a white shirt. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better about doing this unpromoted.
It would feel better to say, the heck with all y'all, we're doing this without a promotion, if we had a stable grind tile with which to get the party into orbit.
Yeah, we got Sky, right?
True, but not as reliable as it could be.
What?
So let me expand on that real quick. I'm a big fan of just like taking all the sky trash that you can, but there's a lot of it that's not great, especially on the lower floors, like the Mirage floors. There's a lot of fights that are just kind of bleh. And if you want to grind like some of the upper floors, it will take forever to get back to those if you warp out and like use a house. We could hope that the blue D tile is something, but if it's not, then I think C might end up being the better. The C tiles might be better at that point.
And CC with the hooray. Always good to see. Yeah, I mean, you say there's the trash is less than ideal. I see packs of vampires and our fire 3 charges.
Right.
And Cerberus with our ice 3 charges, and guards with our lightning 3 charges, and we could probably make Mirage 2 work.
Sure, I see.
Spellzapp, use the rivers, man.
I see solo chimeras, and I see.
We got ice 3.
The vampire packs, or yeah, the vampire bird packs, which are no longer as good as they could be. Time investment wise.
Upside to all of there's nothing there in that Elfland Armory. All these checks is we have a heck of a lot of key items acquired already.
Mm-hmm.
Our XP is getting pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And CC checks the spike tile in Northwest, something Spellzapp did not do, and finds fighters and fires. Finds the firefighter combo. The Northwest Fire Department.
Somebody call the trash island. Oh wait, that's me.
This is the Northwest Fire Department.
Our bitter rivals.
Now, if we found this spike tile, maybe in Cardia, in like a town or intern shuffle.
As far as taking an extended grind, I'm liking the idea of a solo fighter. I'm liking the idea of fighter versus fighter.
Yeah.
To try and just get one fighter up to like orbit, and then just have them carry the black mages through Topher and just go floaterless. I can see that potentially working.
Yeah, and Spellzapp using the river systems, making the turn-ins. I like this routing choice. It kind of paid out to not have to do this via boat and the outer sea, and instead just navigating the rivers.
Yep.
And he's already got his bottle turn. He's got his Opal Cheerio, and here he goes into the ice cave, the final incentivized location to check CC, check and TOF lock, something that Spellzapp left on the table.
It's something I usually leave behind as well, because this is a lot of time for not many boxes. Although that tile may be the best one we've found so far for a full party grind.
Yeah, with the Thor hammer backing up the lightning 3s.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take a while, but CC casting warp in battle.
Oh, never mind.
That is not functional just yet, as Wissahags pedaling that crack.
Ooh.
And Thunder in chat. He always seems to show up right when Thunder gets cast.
Hi, Thunder.
So Mage just ate a bunch of levels. So level 18 Black Mage, that's pretty good. Approaching near in-game levels for that one Black Mage.
Unfortunately, we need a melee.
Frost Giants thumping that EDM with the trance in the ice cave. Rave cave. I think I saw this episode of Smallville. Worms come out of the wall and it gets weird.
Smallville, is that the one with the bat guy?
No, it's Superman, man. Come on. Here we go. Ice armor in the ice cave. That's pretty neat. And a slab.
Which we can't do anything with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, time
armor.
to find loose floater.
Yeah, it happened again. Where's Edgeworth? It happened again, Edge.
So Elfland
Yeah.
Treasury's a bust.
Yeah, we saw that when Spellzapp went there. It's just somebody's old closet. That wooden shield isn't even a shield, it's just part of the floorboard.
I think both runners are going to end up converging, possibly at Ice Cave. I think, yeah, because I don't think Crab Cakes is going to do Volcano immediately. Yeah, we got to follow that incentive just in case it's the one that we really, really need. Question in chat. Don't we still have ordeals? No. I think both runners have cleared it. Yeah, they have crown. Yep.
Ordeals was the crown.
Yep.
Which gave us the ruby, which led us to the TNT, eventually the key, and the chime. So here we go, 6-pack. A little bit of money.
Defense.
Piece of the puzzle. There's a better shark tile for you. It would be even better if the big eyes are with them, but it's safer.
Yeah.
I won't say better. Safer.
Sure. And pretty low health on those sharks as well. It's not great, but it's not bad either.
Yeah. We can make it work.
Sure.
The commentary stream on that last box of gold just looked like 4 zeros. I was like, that doesn't look right. I have no idea how much money that was. I think they just found quad zeros.
Sorry, man. I'm doing my best.
Yep.
Ooh, Mazza.
Ice
Mazza
Cave.
detected.
Paying out. Cap. Chef's kiss. Let's go. Bane sword. What are we doing? What's all this? What's everything in this ice cave all about? Come on, Mike.
Ice cave loaded with everything we need except progression.
Talk about a nice cave. Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah. Pounded 2 cups of oolong tea in the past hour. High energy. As Spellzapp gonna figure out what he wants to do with his life, possibly deal with a volcano now that we have an effective strategy for handling this. I want to give a big shout out to all of the volunteers and organizers for this year's spring tournament. This has been an absolute blast this year, the largest turnout we've had, and with that large turnout, we've had a lot of new volunteers showing up, a lot of new members joining the community. Jonathan Yoshi, one of our trackers tonight, one of those newer runners that showed up in the past few months and has been a big help. Jat, Dr. Funkin, Sunny, Kustuin. There's been a lot of new faces hanging out, and it's just been a blast. Fizzle, Danny, stalwarts of the broadcast, FFR broadcast team. It's been a lot of fun doing these races with you guys, and I'm super excited for what's coming up. Speaking of all those newer players in the community, we have a Duckling Derby coming up in a few weeks. Going to be super duper hype. All the new players going to be racing amongst each other to find out who the new Duckling Supreme will be. And then sometime, I'm told soon, trademark, there's going to be a co-op tournament this summer. And that's going to be fun to see who's going to dethrone the Crescent Lake Party Planners, or will they maintain their title defense?
They will not.
We're going to have to... Ooh, big words from the everybody's favorite burrito.
Look, last year was an off year. The Trash Island Fire Department will be back, and in stronger numbers. I mean, there will still only be 2 of us, but we'll be better.
So, while I was given the praise, Z-Man pointing out in chat that CC reset out of Ice Cave, no more slab, didn't find the masa. So, it feels a little bad.
I feel like with the odd wipes so far, Crabcakes has got to feel behind, and she's now kind of panicking over, like, she knows that the slab cannot turn into anything right now, and the question is, do I do my best to cart that out of Ice Cave knowing that it's nothing now and might be nothing later, or do I just abandon the whole Ice Cave venture and go where all the boxes are?
Yeah, I mean, Spellzapp at the moment is on roller skates. He's got Masa, he's got defense, he's got white shirt. He could drop this down to a two-person grind, get one black mage, one fighter to LOL levels, and have no problem.
Right.
The only thing that would be really, really nice to find would be a power gauntlet.
Right.
That being said, not likely to find it, but Fast and Masa should get it done with these percents. The likelihood that we find a high evade, high absorb fiend in Tia or Kraken or Chaos is problematic, but it's not enough to scare me into digging boxes I don't need to once I find that Oxyale.
Worth pointing out that Crabcakes is using knowledge of the encounter table to great effect, using that first solid run off the power cycle to check a bunch of these boxes in Floor 2 of Volcano without triggering any trash encounters.
And our trackers, Danny and Jonathan Yoshi, keep me on my toes. I am aware that Fast is promotion locked sometimes. Sometimes I'm aware, sometimes I'm like, let's just talk.
Yeah. That's how you call
Classic gamer also calling for ribbons. That'd be nice. We got a black shirt. That's time elemental protection, right? We can buy some pro rings. We can make this work.
Yeah. A ribbon would be nice, but much more interested in key items at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, these runners they get to where they are at the top of this game by learning how to not only go fast, but to go fast with very minimal equipment.
Yes.
So minimalism is, I think, the final break point for runners in this community to go from good to great. Like, you can route, you can do everything super fast, you can know everything, but as soon as you start being able to dive Topher with minimal levels and not the best gear and win, that's I think when you've broken through that plateau. And that's rarefied air, I think, in this community, where you have Crabcake, Spellzapp, you have folks like Edgeworth, Shadowwalker227, the folks that are consistently at the top of the game, and you have people like Cheeseinator, Thunderclaw, newer runners to this community showing up, and they're knocking on that door, and it's going to open for them pretty very soon.
One interesting thing to note is that in a very, very free chest, Spellzapp has found the Vorpal. It's a chest that Crabcakes is very likely to find. We could have ourselves a Mazza versus Vorpal Topher showdown, where basically it will be an excellent question of what is Chaos running with today, because if Chaos has not a lot of evade but a ton of armor, that Vorpal is going to be a big deal.
Hey, we just got a ribbon.
Hey,
that's pretty cool. In the same room as the Vorpal.
Ooh, Agama's with cremate today. That might make the fire floor in Topher a wee bit annoying.
It'll be fine. We got all that ice gear. Spellzapp gonna ignore the red D chest, and chat pointing out Spider MBI kind of, hinting that this is fast becoming a required march. Yes, but Mirage Sky. We have all the access we need to that entire dungeon, and with the 53 boxes up there, that scale tips pretty heavy in favor of that compared to the 8 or 10 on the bottom.
Let me try counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Hey, I said 8 or 10. Nailed it.
Perfect. Flawless.
Yeah. Hey, it was a margin of error of 1.
And down goes carry 1.
So, we'll say 53 40?
For first orb? Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Let's do it.
Heck yeah.
All right, Spellzapp, where are you gonna go? You got all the sky. We gotta go pick our boat back up from the inner sea.
Uh-oh.
We could do Earth. We're a little bit better for it now. We could do Earth en route to Sky, and there's just money in the red D chest.
Okay.
So
I mean, I've been on the SkyTrain since like 20 minutes ago, so let's go!
I think we're sailing past the Earth Cave. Let's do the Earth Cave. Thank you, Spellzapp. I tip my hat to you, sir.
Okay, fine, we can do the Earth Cave.
I mean, it's something that you've talked about, and our 1v1 races are just for fun races when we were running the competitive forfeiting center.
Yeah.
It's proximity routing.
Yes.
We're almost banking on a floaterless seat as Cece, right behind Spellzapp, lights her first orb at the 55-minute mark. Proximity routing. We're here.
Yes.
Yes, it would be faster if we had the airship. We do
Right.
not. We can't guarantee that we will.
The only thing for me at this point is Oxyale is still unaccounted for. So that's, and it could be a result of a turn-in that we won't have access to until we get the floater.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still, like, proximity is usually good, but we've dug out so much of this Earth Cave already that
That means we can walk right past it. We can go mode the first 3 floors.
I'm just looking at the 4,000 boxes in Mirage Sky and salivating.
Yeah, we've got warp. We can make quick work of Earth 4, and we can kill Lich while we're down here.
It's not a bad play. It's just not. It's not what I would choose to do in this situation.
It's the finals, Spellzapp. You can't hold anything back, and that's what Spellzapp's doing. He knows that. Cece though, let's see what she does.
This is headed straight to.
I feel so good when both of the runners are doing the things that I said I would do. Makes me feel like I'm good, but I'm really not that good.
Hey, think of it this way. My expert analysis landed me in the very coveted 3-3 spot, and then I scrubbed out of the play-in race. So there's that.
Okay. the great irony here is watching any other race that these two runners are not competing in. If they are in chat, they are the first birds to start chirping, sky, 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 sky.
It's true.
And here we are, all of Mirage Sky sitting on a silver platter, and both of our runners are rolling around in the dirt.
Yep.
I love it.
Makes me sad.
What's the opposite of the Sky Cave? The bottom of Earth. And here we go. Earth 4. Earth 4 hype. It's a good cluster of boxes. We got 6 boxes. We got a heal pot. We got 2 gold. It's paying out. We're working. We got a cabin. We got 2 more gold. Let's go. 2,200. Hey.
Oh man, we can almost afford the parking validation for going here.
It took all of 30 seconds, and we're gonna walk out of here with an orb. And plus, we get to see more of these awesome grimps with dazzle and damage poison.
Yep.
But we got a lightning 3 grenade we can throw into their camp and blow them up. And just keep on trucking. Ain't nobody gonna slow me down. Let's go. Spellzapp CC. We got Greggly Puff in chat calling for game 3. It's kind of a one of those things where like it needs to be a game 3. I'm not rooting for either one of these runners, but I love a best of 3 going to 3 games. Gotta love that rubber match, and that way we can have more FFR to share with you guys. And here we go. Just some money. All right, all told, about 500 or 5,000 bucks down here.
How about that, sky?
Hey, I never said this was the right play, because you know what? We still got the bottom of Marsh. Let's go.
It's true, and I don't like it.
You ever see the movie The Water Boy.
Yes.
When the veteran sportscaster is standing on the sidelines and he asks Fairuza Balk, playing Adam Sandler's love interest in the movie, and she claims to be psychic, and she calls the score, and it's laughable when she does so. But as the score and all the weird stuff in the game starts creeping closer and closer to her prediction, it keeps cutting from the broadcaster to her on the sidelines, and I hope that's what this turns out to be.
In this metaphor, which one of us is Adam Sandler?
I got a glass of water next to me, so I was more implying that I was Fairuza Balk. But here we go. Which one? We're gonna throw some cake at it. Happy birthday!
Oh, Lich is first in line to get that slice of cake.
He would be.
Mm-hmm.
Just cut in front of everybody.
He's got to put some meat on those bones.
You're supposed to take it past it. Take it past it. Like, no, just give me that cake. Give me the cake or I'll cast ice 2 at you. Which is basically just him throwing a ice cube tray.
Yeah. Or at least in the randomizer version, it's just like, do what I say or I'll cast ink. Ooh.
Which is him like squirting the pen.
Oh yeah,
now
that's true.
Lich too. You talk back, you sass him about passing the cake. He rips the microwave out of the office pantry and throws it at your face. No, Tina, I'll get my cake now. All right. CC dealing with everything the Spellzapp didn't see. That's the subtitle to this race.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Spellzapp. What box is it going to be, and why is it going to be in the bottom of Marsh?
Oh, I was gonna say it's bottom floor. Here we go. Validation.
Saber. House. Heal. Oh, half the money we found on Earth 4. A silver knife. A little bit more money. Hey, that tent we found on Earth 4, and hey, nothing. All right.
Okay, just because it wasn't on the bottom of Mirage doesn't mean it's not in here.
1 floor down. 4 to go.
Here we go. Greater than less than. Make my day.
High probability. We got 10 boxes here. CC gonna offer the cake to Lich, and he actually passes it down this time. Good on him.
Now he wants a corner piece. He's gonna be finicky about it until we hand out the right slice.
He wants the one. Oh, Dragon Armor's a nice find for Spellzapp. He wants the one with the big frosting.
Yeah.
Flower on it.
Oh yeah.
And it stands to reason that it would be the third piece into the cake.
Yeah.
It would have that.
See, there we go.
Floater. What if I told you that might not be required?
It doesn't count if Oxyel's also in here.
Or if Oxyel's still in Marsh. But Spellzapp says, thank you, greater than side of the less than greater than room. I'm going to go, I got my pilot's license. I'm going to go fly this little helicopter that I found in the sand.
Yeah, we're gonna get the hot dog airborne. Here's what I like about this play, is that we've got the slab. We can turn that in. Mm-hmm. We can potentially get Oxyel, and then we never have to open another box in Sky. So although it's double dipping Mirage Sky, it'll be way more time saved.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what we have behind the airship. We know we have Crescent Lake and Lefane here in Gaia and the vanilla Lefane location. So we have 2 checks for sure.
Right.
We're still looking for a tail, a power gauntlet, or the elusive Oxyel. So there's a 33% chance that the Oxyel is still loose in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the level 6 magic's not anything worth
not great
picking up. Alright, let's see what these old men are holding on to. Steve, I thought we talked to you about that, just holding on to parts of random animals, just giving them out to people in the park. Like, come on, man, you're better than that.
Yeah, Steve, when we had a meeting and we discussed not bringing your pet rat to the park, I can't believe we needed to specify the entire rat.
Half the money from Earth 4, and the Cardia down here. Another silver knife. But at least we got access to these boxes now. These are pretty free, fun boxes to open. And we're going to get promoted. And we're going to get to equip that dragon armor that we just found, that black shirt that we have hanging out. We can throw that defense sword or that X-Cal. So yeah, we've got Masa and X-Cal with double fighter.
Yep, seems good.
We know where Opal armor is, and we got the dragon armor. Like,
and we got Oxiel.
Hey. Yeah, we've got a ribbon. Yeah, we've got everything we need. I think this is just, icing on the cake, if you will, here.
Sure.
All right, so now that we know that the slab will turn into the power gauntlet, I think that Spellzapp will probably follow through with that.
It's worth doing just because of the annoyance of getting levels and charges for temper. I think the power gauntlet is worth the small side trip.
Yeah. All right. Spellzapp promoted in Go mode with a Sea Shrine and a Sky Cave to finish.
So 1 hour 5 minutes, 2 orbs lit for both of our runners. Spellzapp with a slight but notable lead at this point. At most a couple minutes.
Yep. We're going to pick up nukes. We're going to pick up fast. We're going to translate that slab. We're going to buy some magic for our knights. And yeah, I'd say Spellzapp's probably 2-3 minutes ahead. Nothing substantial. Maybe that might be even maybe 1 to 2 minutes ahead. It's hard to tell.
The big question is how much time this will take to resolve Slab Quest, because Crabcakes isn't doing that. Crabcakes no longer has the slab, and with the free boxes in Cardia, we'll know that she doesn't need the slab.
Yeah.
Unless she needs the slab.
She's going to wake up the Sleeping Beauty, I would imagine at some point, because she did equip. Yeah, she's equipping stuff on him. Like a Vorpal sword. Alright, Spellzapp going to pick up his power gauntlet. So, both of our runners in an sort of equal spot as far as riding. Like I said, they're maybe like a minute or two different, but Spellzapp with the advantage of not just the power gauntlet, but the Masa, gonna have much stronger options. But CC knows where that fighter tile is, and Spellzapp never checked that. So CC will be able to get that knight up to the requisite level 32 for that Vorpal to come online. So, and there she is getting the Oxiel out of the Cardia Forest.
While Spellzapp is charging straight back into Sky. I expect some greed chest checks at this point because another ribbon would be really super handy, but I'm not expecting much beyond that.
Yeah, because with also her skipping through ice, she's not going to get that defense sword that was down there either. So, perilous. And there's perilisks on that tile.
Not great. Would have been great for if we were like below level 15, not so great for endgame levels. Ooh.
And there's CC making those deliberate magic choices, going back, already getting Cure 4 on her knights.
Hey, do you like fun Tophers?
No.
What if I told you that Germadeus has had stop?
I said try to stop you right there.
There's no stopping the seed. But FFR will FFR, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
It's not always this though. So we're grabbing heal 3s. We're gonna grab exit, confirming that wall is out of reach. I had a feeling it would be. Comment from chat. CC went to ice, but she reset out and kept nothing that she found down there.
Yeah, she saw the slab, but I don't believe she saw defense or Mazza, and reset out prior to getting those, and then left the area.
Yeah.
Hey, it's nacho time. I should have gone for nachos today. I don't know why I didn't.
I had nachos. They were real good. Had nachos with 3 different dips. Had a chili cheese dip, guacamole, and pico de gallo. It was pretty good.
Dang it.
All right, Bridge of Destiny time. Where are my bless RNGs, man?
Get your bless RNG, see if we can have fun with the robot friend. That's not robot friend, that's a bunch of our hydras. Where's my robot friend?
Fire hydrants with stun touch.
Yeah.
And for the first time, we get true route divergence here. CC going to C. Living up to her namesake.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
No robot friend for Spellzapp.
We're gonna fight. Breck. Double shot of Brack.
Time for double Brack. Big swing. 3 hits 101. Incoming damage. 2 hits 2 damage. Outgoing Brack. No Brack. Outgoing swing. 3 hits 141. Might get there on damage before we get there with anything else. Outgoing Brack. No Brack. Outgoing swing. 3 hits 390. Incoming damage. Inconsequential. Another swing. 537. And down goes Tia 1. Who needs meme strats?
Yeah, we got a couple more. We got 2 whole spell charges on our night spot on that dive.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. Alright, so 3 orbs. Spellzapp on his way to Onrak to light that 4th orb, and the time that these runners are posting on these flags with, we'll say, less than favorable party comps, we know that this is a strong party comp in the hands of these capable runners, but it's not a typical party comp. We talked about it early on. Red Mage folded in here would be wonderful. But these runners...
Sorry, I just want to make a note. Spellzapp saw Lock 2, had the opportunity to purchase, passed on it.
It will get it on the way out. We'll exit through the gift shop. We'll pick it back up.
That makes sense.
So both of our runners, like I said, putting up remarkable times. We're looking at an entry into Temple of Fiends for Spellzapp at maybe before 115, 116 in that ballpark. We did lose both the Black Mages, so...
Yeah, that... Given that we were barely into the dungeon, a reset there makes complete sense.
Yeah. Those Sahags gonna do the Sahag things and throw that crack around. You gotta love when Provoka shuffles into... or Onrak shuffles into Provoka with the battle maps. It's picturesque.
Yeah.
It's almost as if we're fighting at sea.
Yeah, it's a very lovely above-ground underwater dungeon.
And we're going to check the Sharknado room. We're going to get a Pro Cape and another ribbon. So there's a small advantage for Crabcakes as she gets a second ribbon. We'll see if Spellzapp checks that greed chest. I'm going to say no, just because he didn't check anything in Sky.
Possibly. Based on not checking anything in Sky, it might be that Spellzapp feels the heat of being down a game and has decided we need all speed. We need just done with boxes, doesn't matter what's where. We've got Mazza, we've got A-Ribbon, we've got Xcal, we've got Bonk. Yes, ribbons are great, but whatever. We'll just bank on not needing them and just go for it.
Yeah. unrunnable sea snakes just slowing them down.
Yeah. Sea snakes having the habit of rolling. Well, this time not as big hit points as they could have, but sometimes they can be up in the like 300-400 range, and it's real annoying.
Yeah. All right, Spellzapp coming up on the little bean room. He's gonna check half of it. So I don't think we're gonna see him check that Sharknado room.
Maybe the freest chest in Sharknado, but not the other two. One of which had the ribbon in it.
Yeah. CC approaches the door to the Kraken while Spellzapp just 2 floors above her.
Nope. Nothing.
That makes sense. If you're not going to go out of your way to check that top box, I don't see him advancing the encounter table any further than he has to here.
Right.
Here we go, Kraken.
It is the Kraken time.
We're going to fast and temper Hans. And Hans is going to swing that X-Cal to decent effect. And here comes the microwaves. Goodbye, Mage. Goodbye, Kraken.
This is just a farewell party for everyone.
Alright, CC. All the sky to do. Super quick though, as we've been talking about with in Go mode. I'd say Spellzapp's not a deep toe for wipe ahead, but he's gonna have to wipe and Topher for CC to keep the door open for her. Because he's in a better in most ways position than her coming in here. So the Ford party members is going to give him a little bit more survivability.
Right.
The double melee damage dealers in Dang and Dan are going to be pretty effective. And the Masa, honestly, that's the biggest difference here. Where CC's prime advantage is levels, but that's not going to last for long. And
the second ribbon.
Two ribbons. Yeah,
the second ribbon is the thing that's most interesting to me because that's much because it's 2 ribbons across 3 characters as opposed to 1 ribbon across 4 characters, right? I feel like the defensive situation is much better on Crabcake's side, and that might end up being to our benefit.
And Spellzapp gonna fly down to Onrak, which was Provoca, and he's gonna buy some magic. Definitely gonna probably get Cure 4 at level 2. And I was laughing because he downed Kraken, took a step and caught some lobsters. All the time he's spending here is more time he's ceding to CC as she's climbing the tower already into the Asterisk room. We've got the Cure 4s. And this is a pretty quick flight from Onrak to Topher. Spellzapp's tournament life on the line here. Needs to win to force a game 3. CC looking to notch her belt a second time. The spring tournament champion.
This is going to be a real nail biter all the way to the finish. Question in chat, is there a reason Crabcakes is leaving a party member dead? Is it for experience distribution? The answer to that is yes, but I think the more interesting bit of context is that second fighter has been dead for Crabcakes for the vast majority of this playthrough, so that extra experience to the other 3 party members has really stacked up over time.
Yeah, she's like level 25 on Hans. And here comes Spellzapp, 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 30 seconds. And CC coming up on that Bridge of Destiny. Spider MBI's got his blessed RNGs in chat. Where are yours? And she's on a different encounter cycle here, having checked some boxes. So She could see Mr. Robo Friend.
Dumping excess nuke charges on airs. That tells me that we're not afraid of a Warmech encounter if it does show up, and we're desperate for some last-minute padding of levels.
Spellzapp already approaching the earth floor.
Approaching the earth floor, but with a lot of encounters on the way. This encounter table seems to start great, and then you hit
piles up.
Yeah, big chunk of problem town.
Yeah, it's CC hitting the problem town on the bridge. And no Warbot friend.
That's honestly probably good news for Crabcakes at this point. Her levels are to the point where I don't think she needed necessarily a Warmech encounter to fix anything.
Poor turn order with the fast there, so get the swing coming out before the fast lands, and now we're doing respectable damage with that X-Cal. Clearing 500 on a swing, that's really, really good. Question from chat from Ragnarok, did Spellzapp grab fast? Yes, I do believe he did.
Yeah.
Picked up all the spells he could want.
Yep.
I think we even went out of our way to pick up Temper.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Alright. Let's see if Lich is going to wait in line or if he's just going to snatch that cake and run, because here comes CC. You know, when we were 4 minutes ago, I was willing to say that Spellzapp would probably be around Lich when CC entered Topher. I should have said it out loud. Passes on the first slice of cake. Second one, that's my one. Thank you. That's got Lich written on it.
I mean, it had the L in most of the I, so I mean, is good enough.
So Spellzapp right now rocking about a 2-minute advantage here. Pat myself on the back, something I called earlier. As CC enters Topher at 1:20:45. This is 2 minutes and 17 seconds after Spellzapp.
Alright.
Hans up to level 26.
As Spellzapp pulls the first actual boss of Topher, it's time for Carry 2. Here we go. Swing, 2 hits for 83 damage. Quad X, wrong turn order, unfortunately, but the fast goes off. Wrong turn order on that. Big swing out of Carry. Down goes a Black Mage. Outgoing, 4 hits, 141. This fight is not going the way we had envisioned. Swing for 4 hits, 169. Down goes Carry 2. Tiny Carry 2, but with a lot of attack power. And without access to life...
We're dealing with permadeath as we dive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a shame to see a fast and temper machine fall so quickly, but in the waters with sleep touch, didn't actually see waters in the sea shrine, so didn't know that. Less than ideal.
Speaking of less than ideal, that encounter.
But Spellzapp finally catches some good turn order, and
oh, it's Kraken 2 time. How is this going to shake out? I'm nervous. I'm nervous watching it. I'm nervous because this encounter happened first.
The anxiety builds as Nagas throw out the heat and waters put you to sleep. And good night, Danny.
Oh no.
And Nagas with glance.
Both Black Mages down. This is going to be...
We got defense, we got a white shirt. We didn't move them, though.
No, we didn't. Well, we already have the defense on the one we want, in the space that we wanted. Test swing, 4 hits, 110 is pretty good. Incoming lightning 2, is fine. Second defense.
We've engaged Dan mode. You've heard of man mode. Let's go Dan mode.
Oh boy. Well,
no, we got that power gauntlet.
No, slow 2 hits. No, Spellzapp, no. We gotta bonk up. We gotta bonk up so that we can have one crushing hit and hope that nothing in here can kill us, like a second zap or a nuke. Outgoing swing.
4.
One hit, 131. Cure 4. We dodged the stop. Time for Cure 4. Time for swing. Incoming Lightning 2 doesn't do much. Swing. One hit for 143. Uh-oh. Incoming zap. Uh-oh. Outgoing. One hit, 141. Outgoing. One hit, 52. Come on, somewhere close to base health. Outgoing. One hit for 39. We're headed in the wrong direction. Ice 2 doesn't do anything. Swing. 90 hits. 90 damage. Down goes Kraken 2.
Oh boy.
This is... And we're at sub 50 heal pots. And we're...
We got at least 2 more hits of Cure 4.
Sure. And we have this encounter. Oh.
We're gonna take it.
We have to take it.
Alright, CC gets through Kraken or Carry 2, but also loses a Black Mage.
Mm-hmm.
Does not have the safety of that 4th Light Warrior. So already down to a 2-person party. And Dan getting punched to oblivion.
Oh boy.
It's decision time. Cure 4 comes through. Maybe want to throw out another defense sword just to be safe here. Nope. Gonna keep punching through.
You just gotta go forward.
Those are some big worms.
It doesn't matter how big they are, we need their experience to have a better shot at Tia 2 and Chaos.
And CC taking the water fight. That's a big experience too. 10,000 XP for those 2 Light Warriors.
Almost as much as 36,000 for that knight. But worth noting, that knight just got to 25, whereas Crab Cakes is at 27 across 2 characters. Let's try some Tia 2. We're gonna just power up and swing for the fences. More power, more power. Bane doesn't land. More power. Incoming nuclear.
Nuclear! That's a big nuclear. 308.
Time for
That's
swing.
Your max roll.
4 hits, 683. Time for swing. 5 hits, 436. Down goes Tia 2.
Ooh, but we got nukes for 11 heal pots.
Yep, it doesn't feel good.
600 HP.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh. Okay. Dan mode, engage for chaos.
Set up for the RNG loop. Let's pull us a chaos. Here we go. Defense, first round. Incoming fire 3, doesn't do much. Second round, defense, quad X, won't do much. Thanks to that ribbon. Third defense goes off. Ice 3, does 58 damage. It's a little scary. Power Gauntlet, first charge. Power Gauntlet, second charge. Incoming stop, misses. The spell list is pretty friendly so far. Incoming Lightning 2, doesn't do much. More power. More power. Stun isn't gonna do anything. Let's try a swing. Chaos fasting, but will he ever punch? Outgoing 1 hit for 100 damage and change. Need more power. Chaos trying that melee thing, doesn't get very far. 4 hits, 365, starting to get momentum. 1 hit for 41. We're dealing with a lot of evasion and kind of a lot of absorb, but 386, barely any health. Down goes Chaos. Spellzapp finishes in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 33 seconds. A GG to Spellzapp.
And we get a game 3.
Yee!
That's exciting. So game 3, tomorrow night, the rubber match to decide the spring tournament champion here on RPG Limit Break. That's going to be exciting race. So as you were calling the Chaos fight, I was watching CC's dive, and Kraken wasn't as unfriendly to her. Managed to get through pretty easily. The slow 2 never coming around, and Hans made pretty quick work. And she skipped out of all the other fights that Spellzapp saw on his way down. So Tia 2, though, looking like it should have been maybe a Vorpal fight.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
but we're through. None of the bosses here seem to have a ton of HP, but let's see if we can get Spellzapp in here.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, GG Spellzapp.
Thanks, Caleb.
How you feeling, man?
Ooh, well, if it wasn't a 15-minute delay, I'd be like, amped up and just crazy right now. But I'm just so happy that we got a win out and we're going to game 3. So
yeah, early on we were talking about the game 1, now race 2, where we've showcased the thief and white mage. Here we showcased the fighter black mage. Does that mean tomorrow is going to be black belt red mage?
black belt red mage. Okay, yeah. Crabcakes did say that she was the best black belt player in the Final Fantasy community. So maybe,
That's where you just troll her and roll solo red mage through.
Yeah.
That was a really good run. I think you were nursing a small lead over time, like maybe 20,
I felt
30
it was
seconds.
the opposite.
It like CC was seeing a lot of the stuff on enemy scripts that you didn't see. Like,
okay.
And then it was not like to make a big excuse for that. I mean, you raced really well. The biggest difference here was your seeing Ice Cave through to completion, while she saw the slab, never saw the defense or the Masa, took a nasty encounter and just decided, you know what, not today, Satan, and she reset out. So kind of gambled that the slab wouldn't be required because we didn't have the floater at that point and couldn't turn it in. And I think that was the turning point for her.
Well, I'd seen that, the slab, and I knew we couldn't turn it in, but I wanted either Power Bonk or Tail, because at that point I only had Excal. I think I got Masa on like the last couple chests on the way out.
Yeah. Yep.
So I was like, okay, well, I still want to do this because I'm still going to need it probably in the future. And obviously you still have loose to try and find the floater. Because at that point, that was my last incentive location, where then it opens up to be just being everything's loose again. So I felt like finishing out was a good call, and I got Masa at least, so that was good.
And CC took a reset wipe to Chaos, and here comes the solo fighter grind. So here comes, we're going to fight the fires to get the mages down, and we're going to go mano a mano, fighter on fighter on the other spike tile here in Northwest. Spellzapp. It has to be mentioned. You are the reigning FFR Iron Goal Heavy Metal champion. You are the reigning co-op champion. How about you leave championships for like other folks and stop winning everything, man?
What about this? I'll make you a deal. What about you listening. Let me have this one, and then co-op, and then next year's co-op, I'll partner up with you.
I appreciate it. That's I'm retired. And we have a certain tracker that might have a certain feeling about that, and she may even unmute herself to yell at you for flirting with the idea of breaking up the Crescent Lake party planners.
Yeah, I knew you weren't going to go for it, so
yeah. I'm excited. I am looking forward to co-op. I'm toying with the idea of coming back for it. We've Ale and I talking about Team Caleb, Team Aleb, name yet to be determined. But right now, this whole show is the CC Spellzapp show, and we were talking earlier about when you're at the level of play that you two are, and you two are good friends in this community. You talk a lot. You've run the challenge seed. You're constantly talking about stuff, both on the planning committee for this tournament, and what goes through your mind when you're racing a player of CC's caliber? Like, how do you try to route in? Like, how do you try to outroute them? Because there's only so much you can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we saw you go to Earth right away, and I loved that play. And then CC, 30 seconds behind you, made the same play. So
yeah, I think we think about the game very similarly.
Mhm.
But to answer your question about what do you do, I mean, we're pretty close. I mean, she's obviously faster as far as pure execution goes, but one wipe along the way, puts me back ahead. So it's not like, it's you just play your best game, and then she plays her best game, and then maybe someone has, if someone doesn't show up that day, then whoever that decides who wins. Because if you start to do things like, I'm just gonna jump into a marsh cave out of nowhere, then once that fails, that's basically the run's done.
Yeah.
So we both kind of have to go through the high percentage plays, and then the small little things that somebody does will put the other one ahead. But obviously we're not the same person, so we do make different decisions. I think today we did some pretty similar things, but I couldn't get any money, so I just left the bottle, which was kind of a risk. But the solution for that was opening chests, and then you go into Earth, and then that gave me the canoe, so I could put it off a little longer.
You say that you two are not the same person, yet to be determined. However, you say you were going for the high percentage plays, but yet you both went to Earth 4 while Mirage Sky remained untouched. What caused you to, or what went through your mind when you were balancing those options?
Well, it was actually really funny because my bottle, I had to get the bottle, so that means I had to go into the inner sea, which means
awkward.
my ship was at the river in the inner sea going over to Crescent Lake. So that kind of made a decision for me. Just that one bottle decision kind of informed the entire seed, because that means I have to go to Earth is along the way. Obviously, Volcano's on the way back from ice, and then eventually you can make it to into Mirage, where I wanted to go to Mirage anyway. But
so you're saying it was proximity?
Yeah.
Pat myself on the back, Fizzle.
I know. I saw it. I'm still as one of the reliable cheerleaders of Sky. There was some disappointment watching a chime in a cube not immediately just dart into Sky.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was on my radar, but then I got canoe, and I was like, okay, well, I can go to incentive places and maybe get a floater, and that's sort of my priority list.
All right, CC with her levels acquired, coming back for vengeance on this Topher. Gonna see this thing through to the bitter end. I love it. The tenacity. All right, Fizzle, I've talked a lot. I've asked a lot of questions. Your turn.
So let's rewind all the way to the very, very beginning of the race, because I want to get some ideas on philosophy real quick. So game 1 was Thief, White Mage, None. Game 2 was Double Fighter, Double Black Mage. Talk to me about why this was the game 2 party.
Well, we kind of actually always had a party in mind, which was the Thief, White Mage. And we wanted to get it in the finals if we made it. But we didn't want to have it be the kind of, crowning a champion sort of team comp where it's a lot more reliant on luck, a lot more than this at least. So, we didn't really want that to be the thing that a champion goes out on. So then now this is back to normal. I didn't anticipate her doing double fighter because it went black. I was going to go black mage fighter, but 3 fighters would have forced a fighter black mage 2-man or a fighter black mage 3-man. and I felt like she was better at that than I was. So to put it back in the court of the 3-man party that I'm more comfortable with, which is 2 spellcasters and a fighter, I pulled out the black mage.
Any particular reason you went black mage over red mage? Is it something more about like keeping options off the table for your opponent?
Yeah, because I mean that was the gut call was right when that happened. I was going to go red mage. Oh, okay, we can just get some white magic and get some whatever. But I was like, well, no, if we do this, then it kind of makes it a little bit more awkward, which I liked, and that's kind of what I went for, just to kind of shake it up a little bit.
I can respect it.
So I guess one other question I have is, you talked to me about whether or not you ever had kind of an inclination to Dan one of your party members.
I just didn't have time. I was running it all over. Because you're gonna want to do it. I mean, you can do it early when you're going into all the key dungeons, but by that point, my fighter was like 300 HP, and it's really hard.
Yeah,
I'll just be honest. It's really hard to kill a fighter on purpose without losing anybody else, especially when you don't have life.
right.
So the chance of getting out of fight with the correct party members alive is just, it's really tough. If I wanted to do it, I should have done it earlier. And then I found some decent armor for both and some decent weapons for both. So I was like, okay, well, we can make the full 4 work, even if it was very scary in Topher.
Was there ever going to be a scenario where you ended up danning a black mage, but not one of the fighters?
I don't think so. Maybe if we got a second ribbon, where, because we've got the power bonk, we've got white shirt defense, and if we maybe had 2 ribbons, it may have been a little bit safer to just do 2 fighters, and that way, like a first turn big punch from like a Kraken or a Tiamat, you could kind of back up into, into keeping one of those fighters alive.
Speaking of 2 ribbons, would you like to know where that second ribbon was?
Was it probably somewhere really easy to grab? Because after CE, I was just, or after getting the floater, I was just zoom.
Yeah. Crab Cakes managed to find the second ribbon in the Sharknado room.
Again. I'm gonna check that tomorrow.
So Crab Cakes is on the water floor at this point, taking on one of the water packs. The ones that have sleep touch is
So we've got CC in chat. I want to ask CC a question. CC, a lot of people in chat were asking why you are not on team CCC instead of Sky. Because it would work so much better with your name. It would be CC. And we could talk about all the things that you see in the Sea Shrine. As you are team CC. See his cheeks. Okay.
So, let's... Tiamat 2, here we go. Doing some swings, doing some nukes, storming our way back to Chaos. We're going to try tempering. We're going to spend some of our valuable temper charges on that night, but not as many as we thought we were because Tia 2 is already down. That was kind of the theme for a lot of these Topher bosses. Not a lot of health.
And Hans is up to 42. You rarely see it happen on a fighter. Hans is going to have some words with Chaos.
It's going to be a short conversation, though. All right. Crabcake's second attempt at chaos. Here we go. Go. We're going to open with some white shirt. How about some temper? And a little bit more. And a little bit of fast. Fast goes off first. White shirt goes off. 1 of 6 evasion stacks across the board. Fire 3 incoming. Does not much to the top 2 characters and a lot to that bottom black mage. Temper goes off. We're going to try round 2. How about white shirt, temper, temper? Incoming punch does 174. White shirt goes off at 2 of 6 stacks across the board. Temper goes off. Temper goes off. Round 3. White shirt. Going to consider options. Go with a fast. And how about another fast? Big punch. Down goes the bottom black mage. White shirt. We're at 3 of 6 across the board. The last nuke of the fight. 141 damage. Next round, we're going to try heal pot strats and a white shirt. White shirt goes off. We're at 4 of 6 evasion stacks. This chaos is very, very punchy. We're going to try another white shirt. We're at 5 of 6 for the 2 remaining characters. We're going to chug some more heal pots. Quad X gets cast. Doesn't stick. Punch. Nothing happens. Swing. 6 hits for 358. Incoming Ice 3 doesn't do much. We're on swing and wait strats. Outgoing swing, 5 hits, 528. Down goes Chaos. Crabcakes finishes in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 4 seconds. GG.
All right. Well, I guess we can ask for some final thoughts. Crabcakes in chat, let us know if you have any final thoughts. Spellzapp. Game 3 on the horizon tomorrow. Final thoughts, man.
I'm just like, there's just so much pressure that's been relieved of just winning one match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just happy, 1, to be racing Crabcakes in the finals, and 2, to win one match. Anything after this is just, icing, right? Icing on the cake.
Ha. As long as it's the right one, Lich will take it.
Yep. But no, I mean, thanks everybody for dropping by, and thanks you two for coming for us. I mean, you guys put in a ton of work through the Swiss stages of the tournament, so I wanted to get both of you guys back in here to finish it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cece sharing her final thoughts, simply put and aptly put, stupid lit 2 gray worms.
Mm-hmm.
Succinct and to the point.
Yep.
Does he want to bring us home?
Sure. Big thanks to RPG Limit Break for hosting us not just for this race, but for all races for the Spring Tournament Finals. Big thanks to my co-com, Caleb. You make every one of these a joy. You've definitely done a lot of work up till this point, and everyone, including me, appreciates you a ton. I want to give big thanks to our queen of the trackers, Danny3883, and new tracker, Jonathan Yoshi, for helping us out tonight. For everyone here on RPG Limit Break, my name is Lorfinborfin, and we will see you for Game 3 tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night, everyone.